Hello, everybody. Josh Brown here, back for another great episode on Franchise Euphoria. Well, today's episode is brought to you by IndieFranchiseLaw.com, a leading resource in the franchise space to help you if you're considering buying a franchise, turning your business into a franchise, or growing your business through a licensing or franchise structure. So go on, check it out, IndieFranchiseLaw.com. I think you'll find a lot of valuable and free information as you continue to kind of weigh franchising and licensing and the growth of your business. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy today's episode. On today's episode of Franchise Euphoria, I've got Trevor Rappleye, who is the CEO of CorporateFilming and Franchise Filming, businesses dedicated to helping franchises drive sales with ongoing video creation of their successful franchisees. Trevor and his team come in and find the story, emotion, and the why of a franchise to drive leads, recruitment, and brand image. They never allow scripts on site, and they let the story come to life. It's a really interesting interview. Trevor is super passionate about his videos, and it's the first I've heard of a video company doing a subscription model. So tune in. Really interesting story about how he decided to do that, and he works with franchise people. So I think you'll be interested. Hope you enjoy this interview with Trevor. Hello, Trevor. Welcome to Franchise Euphoria. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, I'm excited to learn about your services. This is a little bit, unique. Most of the time we're interviewing actual franchisor companies or franchisees from those companies, whereas you're sort of a third party vendor and CEO of a company called Corporate Filming and Franchise Filming, but you focus that business on creating videos and content for the franchise sector. Is that right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, and it's really where my passion comes from. I love to tell the story of why franchises do what they do and why people should invest in those franchises. Like there's a story in every corner, and I just get excited to tell the story.
Well, I could tell because I was looking on your website and everything in preparation for the interview, and it looks like when you go in and do interviews, you try to keep it as authentic as possible, no scripts. You just kind of go in there and you're really trying to get to the heart of the story. What drove that passion for the franchise sector?
So it's so funny. So I'm going to go backwards a little bit. I started my first business at age 13. It was a filming business. I was converting VHS to DVD, and I've just always been in love with capturing the moments, capturing the story. My dad had a big, 90s VHS video camera you had to put on your shoulder, and you had to take Advil after you held it, right? Like just back in the day, those big VHS, and I just fell in love with it. And I started filming stuff. My dad got me my own. And it's just that transitioned into helping corporations tell their story of why they love what they do. But then also, Josh, we found such an underserved market in the franchising world. Either franchises have the best videos or they have nothing and it's their nephew filming their video on their iPhone, right? It's like there's no in between.
Exactly.
Yeah, we wanna be the middleman and help tell the story of the franchise, of the franchisee, of the franchisor to help them drive sales. And I always tell people, people work with people, not logos. And so our favorite thing to do is to put the people front and center.
Well, so do you do this across the country?
We do. So we are based in LA, but we have teams and partners placed all throughout the US, and we offer a subscription model that's great for franchisors, emerging franchisors, where we create ongoing monthly content
Oh,
anywhere
shoot.
in
Talk about that. That sounds really interesting.
yeah, so I'll just dive right into it. I'm like the sales guy here. I'm the creative side. But one of my favorite things, exactly, Josh. I heard your voice kind of light up there. Is franchise filming. What we want to excel at is really just solving marketers' problems. And the problem we heard a lot is, man, I need video help everywhere, but I don't want to go on Yelp and find a local college kid, right, to film my franchise. So what we do best here is we work anywhere in the US. We never charge a travel fee, we never charge a bag fee, and we create ongoing content every month. So imagine, we go to Michigan, Chicago, Florida. And all that franchise has to do is sit back and we film, create, concept, edit. We do everything from start to finish. And they wake up on the first of every month and there's two new videos waiting for them. It's just that simple. It's just keeping it simple.
Well, and what do you hire, like, independent contractors in different cities to go and do the film? Because you can't be flying everywhere, right?
So to be honest, sometimes we do fly a lot, and I get as much as I love what I do, I can only look out a window for so many times a month, right? As the plane is in the air. So yes, we work with local partners, local vendors, subs, etc., but all under the corporate filming and franchise filming brand that understand the power of story and emotion to help drive that sale.
So talk to me about, if I'm a young emerging franchisor and I'm getting the franchise going, looking to attract franchisees, are you going to come in and help provide videos for the overall franchise system in addition to the franchisees? Or is this just, if you're working with emerging franchisor, are you going to be just providing videos for them that's sort of helping them to brand and differentiate themselves from other similar or like franchises?
Exactly. So I kind of like to take a step back with things like this. And one of our favorite things to do that we tell people that we do is we get your happy, successful franchisees on film. So whether that's filming in Michigan, Chicago, but what we really want to do is highlight someone that's so happy that they went with your emerging franchise. They went with your franchise. And now, because of your franchise, they now can control their hours. They can be home for their kids' soccer game. They can make it to their kids' recital. And then we film that. We film Tom in the office at your franchise. We follow Tom home, hug his wife, hug his kids, film him in the backyard. And we put that into this 90-second marketing piece that will then help that franchisor sell more franchisees because who doesn't want a life like that? Right. So we highlight the emotion and the story before we talk about ROI, support. As important as those things are in the franchising world, in marketing, you have to hit on the emotion first.
And you're doing a couple of those a month for each of your clients.
Yeah, for suppliers, franchisors, franchisees, we work with Go Minis, SoulLink, VTech, ScreenMobile, and we help them create ongoing content that drives their sale. Is really what we love to say. And it's not the typical 5 minute, 9 minute CEO in front of a wall video that I'm sure we've all seen that's horrendous, right? It's
Yeah.
engaging 60-second pieces that at the very end of it, that prospect you've been bugging for 9 months, 5 years, right? Is say, "Man, I want that life." And then they finally call you back. That's really our end goal.
Well, so it's interesting because, you obviously have a business of telling stories for your clients. So now I'm going to ask you to kind of dig in a little bit deeper. I know you kind of touched on it at the outset, but I want to hear about your story and how you came up with this model because I've interviewed a lot of people and I've interviewed, certain other vendors or third party providers for franchises, but this is the first that I've heard in the video side where you're doing it as a subscription model. So that kind of stuck out to me a little bit. That's really interesting. Tell me that story. Tell me how, first of all, how you thought to do it that way. And then the process that you undertook to kind of fine tune that model.
So I love that. That's a great question. I feel like one of my favorite things to do is to bike to the beach once a month. I just sit there without my laptop, without my phone, and I just think, how can we as corporate filming and franchise filming continue to solve people's problems and give them their time back? Right? I feel like people underestimate that people choose the vendors that don't call them 10 times a day, right? That just handle things. So
That's right.
we thought, man, there's franchises everywhere. And I always get hit with the question of, I don't want to pay for travel, or are you based in Michigan? So the subscription model came about, honestly, because I saw what companies were doing. They would pay us, they would pay another video team for one video, and then they update it every 5 years. that doesn't work anymore. That worked back in 2010, but now in 2020, prospects expect new, fresh content. So we also understand that in the franchising world, your best franchisees are everywhere. So, how do we create a business model where if we on the finance side know the money's coming in? So, let's say someone books with us. So, I know on the finance side that we're going to be getting a certain amount every month from XYZ. Now, kind of it's kind of like that Uber thing where like the reason why their trips are so low is because they're doing a million trips a day, right? So our model is based on the fact that we know the money's going to be coming in, so we can offer really discounted rates because it's that ongoing partnership. So one of the things that we really solve for the marketing side of franchises is you work with one media house, which is us. It's not, you don't have to call the different vendors, get 10 quotes. You only go through us and we handle all of your needs. So the subscription model also came about, Josh, because I really want to help people create more content. But if we continue to offer these a la carte packages where it's one day of filming with one video, it would be so much harder for them to re ask for that money next year. So rather than trying to beg finance to approve 10 videos every 5 years, hey, let's go with corporate filming for 1 year at a discounted rate, but we get 8 filming days a year with 36 videos. That's an easier sell because now they see the deliverables are higher and more in quality and quantity, not just one video.
Well, and so do you also do the promotion of the video on social media, or do you stop? Do you create the video, you provide the video, and then the franchisor turns it over to their social media or digital marketing team, or do you guys help with that as well?
So right now, I want our company to stay in the lane what we excel at, which is the video creation.
I think that's smart.
Yeah, as much as we get asked, "Hey, Trevor, can you help us out with PPC or SEO?" It's something we are going to launch in 2021, but right now
But
we
it's hard,
only.
but it's I mean, it's gonna
Oh,
take
yeah.
a whole 'nother dedicated team to just focus on that I mean, you can't because SEO and all that digital stuff is so complicated and hard, and the algorithms change, and it's constant engagement that you really gotta have a whole dedicated team to do that as well.
Exactly. So we have partners that that we can give to them, right? Because I don't want to leave them, without an answer, right? So we can give them to another company that we trust that can handle it for them. But I think a lot of business owners, a lot of people listening to this podcast, they try and do 10 things right when I would rather do one thing perfect, and that's the video.
I love that.
Yeah, I literally say quotes to my team so I think they get over it, but that quote to me, like, really means a lot. I'd rather do one thing perfect than try and do 5 things average.
I'm telling you that there's riches in the niches, and it's very,
Yep.
very hard to stay focused on your niche because when you start having success in that niche, opportunities arise in different areas. And so it's very, very easy to expand out. And so you often see entrepreneurs and franchise owners. I see a lot of systems in my day to day world where they started off really focused. They started off
Mhm.
really, really great. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute. You started off just selling chicken sandwiches, and now why are you selling, pot pies and all this other stuff? Oh, well, people just asked about it. And that's where you start getting a little bit murky. You start losing your advantage of,
Yep.
you're not going to be a yes for everyone, but the people that you are a yes for, it's a hell yes. And I'd rather have hell yes people than just sort of marginalized people who are like, yeah, it's fine. Because that hell yes people, you can build a brand around, where you start losing that the more you water it down, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
and I'm with you on that. I think the one mistake that I've made that I think all marketer and owner and emerging businesses can relate to is we try and do, and I can't say this enough, we try and do 20 things perfect, and that's just not possible. So what I recommend for people on the media side, on the video marketing side, I get calls a lot. They're like, "I want 100 videos by next month," and I'm like, you have zero now, so I don't think that's I don't think that's possible. So and and your finance team is not going to suddenly approve this ridiculous budget for video, right? So why don't we start out small? Let's make one video a month for you. And then let's have leadership buy into that, because once leadership and marketing and people see one video that we make and they see our level of service, you can live chat us. We have 24/7 call-in support, like then they're sold, right? So I recommend people that are on this hunt for video, start small. Don't try and film all of your franchises. Try and highlight three. Three people in one area, in one state, have us go around and film them over a course of 2 days. And then, literally within 15 days, those films are done. We have this down to a science, we have this down to a skeleton.
Well, so in our remaining couple minutes here, walk me through if I'm your prospective client and I'm calling you right now and I'm saying, "Hey, I really like what I'm seeing, love your website, love the idea of subscription video." How do you qualify the customer or the client that you want to work with?
So I'm going to be very transparent. Our videos are not on the cheap side, and we do that on purpose, right? Because we don't want to rush the video. We don't want to rush telling your story. So how we qualify people is, our videos start at about 10,000 and our subscription models start at 30,000. So it's really only, if I can do that math really fast on this podcast, 30 divided by 4, whatever that is, that's only every 3 months. That's probably an easier sell. So if I say those numbers and they go, whoa, that is just not possible, I kind of have to move on. And then I earmark that contact to follow back in 1 year. So that's how I qualify people, to be very, very honest. They usually have to have 5+ locations, I would say, to kind of really justify that marketing cost.
Yeah, that's a significant cost. Now, I mean, if there's obviously you're getting good fresh content in that. But let's say somebody does meet that criteria. They're 5, they want to learn more about it. How do you start the working process? I mean, how do you learn more about the franchise system so that you can get in there and be able to tell their story? Is there sort of some sort of like questionnaire or
Oh, yeah.
application or something that they fill out?
Oh, yeah. So once we get kinda locked in and you guys are all on board with us, we actually have a 1 hour, we actually require it, video chat where you meet my entire team. We go through this PowerPoint. We ask you questions like, "What is your end marketing goal? Where are 3 people that we can talk on film? Will they let us follow them home?" That's very important, right? To film the life that somebody has with your franchise, right? That's so important, so it's not just
Sure.
office footage. And then literally from that phone call, they get to hear our ideas, and we're not afraid to tell them, "Hey, that's probably not a good idea." Like we've been asked before to have people in front of a white wall and that's it, and then leave at noon. And I go, "That's not going to help you sell. What would help you sell is if we talk to Tim about how much he's so happy he went with your franchise, and then we follow Tim home to see his wife and kids and go to the soccer game." So, and then from that, we set a filming date within 2 weeks. And then within 15 days from that film day, your videos are done. It's literally this. I just get so excited because we have this science down.
That's fantastic. Well, if anybody wants to learn more about you and your business, they can go to corporatefilming.net/franchise and or corporatefilming.net/founder dash story. Really interesting, Trevor. I'm really
Thank
happy
you.
that I had you on and I look forward to staying in touch and learning your successes. And I think that it's a really unique and a great idea just in terms of the economy we're in right now, the world we're in right now, where you're right. I mean, constant updated video can really make a big difference on attracting the right franchisees, on providing them with updated information about your brand, and really kind of selling them along the way just through the videos, which is really kind of a neat way to do it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. And yeah, and I would love to stay in touch. And I want to leave people with this one like nugget here is what you're marketing. Does your prospect really know your story? Do they really know your team. If not, that's why your sales kind of halted, because they don't feel a connection to you. So video is a great way to do that.
That's fantastic. I could not agree more. Thank you so much, Trevor. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Franchise Euphoria. If you enjoyed this episode or have enjoyed the podcast in general, I would really appreciate it if you could go to iTunes and leave me a rating and review. It really helps to get this podcast out to more and more people. So the easy way to do it is go to iTunes and in the search box, put in Franchise Euphoria. You will then see my cover art and you click on my smiling face that says Franchise Euphoria, and then click on the link that says ratings and reviews. It's that simple, but boy, oh boy, does it mean the world to me when people leave ratings and reviews. And like I said, it really helps get the show out there. Once again, would love it if you would go to iTunes and leave a rating and review if you enjoyed this episode or other episodes of the show. And until the next time, happy franchising.